I'm Laura, as Sharon said, and today I'll be interviewing. Can you guys wave when I say your name, maybe? Andrew, Kathy, Keith, Kelly, and Michael. So I wanted to get started. Each person is going to answer 6 questions, and I'm gonna start with the first question. Okay, so Andrew, as we know your name, but how long have you been doing self-direction?
I've been doing self-direction since 2016. That's 16. I think that's about 8 years now, I think. Or somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's a long time, I think. Okay. And what about you, Keith?
Hello, my name Keith. I've been doing for a year and a half.
Okay. That sounds kind of new, huh? And Kelly, what about you?
My name is Kelly Donovan, and I have been doing self-direct with adult services for almost 8 years, same amount of time as Andrew. But a little over a decade if you count when I got started up again back in youth services when I was 19. So
That's a while too. All right. And Michael, what about you?
Yeah, my name is Michael, and I've been doing self-direction for about 4 years, ever since the old program shut down. I miss that place.
Yeah, what was the old program? Was the day program or?
Yeah, it was the adult day program.
Yeah, so you miss it.
Yeah.
Could you say how long?
Well, it's been well, I started the adult day program since well, a long time ago.
When did you start self-direction?
I started self-direction in 2020.
Okay, so about 4 years. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people started around then. Um, and Kathy, what about you?
I think I've been doing self-direction 2 years.
2 years? Okay. Sorry, I lost the slide view, but the next question for our presenters or panelists are, what are the reasons you chose self-direction for your services? Andrew, do you want to start with that question?
Yes, I chose self-directions because up until the point I started 8 years ago, I'd say my parents were supporting me, but they both passed away within 3 years of each other. And I wanted to preserve as much of my autonomy in my life as possible. And self-direction seemed like a good fit for that reason. Plus, my sisters, who are supportive, still have their own lives to lead. So it seemed like self-direction would probably be the best way to get me the help I needed to live my best life.
Nice, that's good. Keith, what about you?
I just chose self-direction on my own after my agency wasn't helping me that much.
That's a good answer. That sounds like
My
a good choice.
decision.
Yeah. Okay, we'll ask you some more questions about that later. Kelly, what about you?
I chose self-direction because one, I was used to it because I already started it when I was a youth. Two, I like the flexibility of it and choosing your own schedule and hiring your own people. And 3, I wanted to go to school and work part-time. So I wanted to be able to fit all that in.
Wow, yeah, it sounded like you wanted to do a lot. And self-direction was a good way for doing that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Michael, what about you?
Well, the reason I chose self-direction is that, I have to make sure I got a lot of responsibility in my own time. I had to work properly and had to use the transportation from one place to another by using the bus.
So you really wanted to be independent and be able to do your own things, and that's how self-direction helped you?
That's right.
Nice. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I I I guess I'm getting used to it.
Okay, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then Kathy, what about you?
I can find my own staff, and basically I just wanted to try it and see if I would like it.
Nice. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Alright, good. All right. The next question. Do you work or go to school? And this is sort of 2 questions in one. And what do you like to do in your community? Andrew, can you get us started with this one?
Sure. I am presently employed as a peer resource specialist at Advocates in Action RI, and I tend to like to go mini golfing. I will walk on the bike trail. I will generally go for walks in my neighborhood. Generally anything that lets me stay fit.
That's
Not
nice.
I'm not as young as I used to be, so I think that's important.
You think being active is important? Yeah. And it's nice to get fresh air and be outside too when you can. Keith, what about you?
I do. I'm the president of Advocates in Action Board
Oh,
of
wow.
Representatives, and I do Special Olympics as well. So I like bowling.
You say you like Special Olympics and bowling?
Yes, I'm on
Nice.
a bowling league.
Cool. Awesome. Kelly, what about you?
I work with Advocates in Action as a peer resource specialist. I also am in the process of getting started with a temp position as a surveyor for the services for individuals with disabilities with the Sherlock Center. I did go to school, but I graduated last year from Rhode Island College. And what I like to do in the community is I like to go shopping, I like to go to the library, I like to go to the gym and go swimming, and I like to go out to eat and hang out with my friends and go for walks outside.
Nice. Sounds like you do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You like a lot of different things. Who's next? Michael.
Yeah, I'm next. I go to work, but I work somewhere else.
What do you do at work? What kind of a job do you have?
Well, I'm an office assistant.
That's good. That sounds like a good job. Do you like it?
Oh yes, I like it as a matter of fact. Ever since I started last year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you've been working for a while now. And what
Yeah.
about the community activities you like to do in your spare time?
Well, I like going to the library and doing jigsaw puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there are different jigsaw puzzles, but sometimes they're not finished and just gonna have to put the pieces together and then it's all finished.
Nice. Yeah, they have community puzzles, right, at the libraries that anyone can sit down and do at any time.
Yeah, a lot of libraries have those.
Yeah, libraries are pretty cool. They have all kinds of stuff. You just usually think of them as a place for books, but there's so much more.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, that's not all. I usually exercise
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Okay, what's your favorite way to exercise then?
I usually walk on the treadmill.
Mhm. All
It,
right. Anything else to say, or do you want me to move on?
well, I'm part of the band member. I'm a songwriter and a scribe from some band I can't even say.
Okay. Is it private, you mean?
Well,
Or you
well,
just don't want to share?
I just don't want to share any of the facts.
Okay, that's okay. So you like music a lot and you're in a band. That's cool.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Kathy, what about you?
I own my own business.
Oh, wow. Fancy. What's your business? That's awesome.
Nature photography.
Oh, cool. And what about some community things? Where do you
No.
like to go see nature and take your photos?
Trails.
Trails and stuff? You do a lot of like nature trails? That's cool.
As long as they're wheelchair accessible.
Oh yeah, that's something we need to think about. Yeah, that's important. Okay. Do you have a favorite place that you go?
No.
Okay, that's all right. Alrighty, the next question. Can you share one thing that was very important to you that you advocated for yourself? Andrew?
Well, I think in my case, one thing I think that was very important to me was making sure that when I was making my plan, I had the last word myself. To make sure that my sisters didn't make any important decisions for me, that it was me who made those decisions lastly and finally.
That's really important.
Yeah, it is. Not
Your
to,
life, yeah.
yeah, it's my life, and as much as I love my sisters, I don't need them running 100% of it for me.
Mm.
I mean, they do have some very good suggestions, but I think that not everything they suggest is going to work well for me.
Yeah, you get to choose.
Right.
That's how we all should think of life. Um, Keith, what about you? What's something you've advocated for in your life that's really important?
Just find another part-time job and eventually full-time.
So your goal is to work full time?
Yeah,
That's what you're working
eventually,
towards? Yeah, that's awesome.
eventually.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And Kelly?
So one important thing that was very important to me that I had to advocate for was to be able to stay in adult services because I am what society would call lower support need. So I had to prove and fight for my right to keep services and to be able to work with Karen.
Who's Karen? Is that your staff?
Yes.
Got it. Your DSP, direct support professional?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Michael, what about you?
Well, one thing for me is that I'm going to keep on working, even if there are new projects, and I should probably learn how to do it.
Mhm. So work is something you really want to make sure you can always do, to make sure that you advocate for you to be able to continue working and learning about it?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Nice, that sounds good, that's important. Okay. Are we all set? Okay. Um, what skills have advocates in action helped you learn or practice? Let's start with Andrew again.
Okay. Before I started at Advocates in Action, I basically knew how to speak up for myself, but I think Advocates in Action helped me learn to improve those skills. And I think that benefited me greatly in regards to my answer to the previous question, what had I advocated for myself in my life that was the most important to me?
Mhm. That's awesome. That sounds like it really did help you. And like strengthen your skills that you already had, right?
Yes, most certainly.
Keith, what about you, Mr. President?
I have learned to be a good leader and a peer mentor.
Nice, that's awesome. And Kelly.
So, advocates in action. Wow, this is a loaded question because they have helped me grow so much as a person. They've helped improve my leadership skills, develop more professional skills and understanding of the disability field and how it works and the system, and it helped further my career, and also it helped empower me to grow as a person and to meet people from different walks of life and become more of an understanding and a more flexible person when rolling with last minute changes when we have technical difficulties. And another surprising thing that one wouldn't think about is that, so I draw a lot of in-house art for like clip art and promotional material. So they through Deb and Keith and so many others encouragement, it helped me to further and to strengthen my artistic skills.
That's awesome.
And I
It's
have
great.
to thank Advocates in Action for helping me to be who I am and to get me so connected and understanding of the field. And I'm so grateful.
That's awesome. It's so nice when people recognize your talents and help you grow as people. Michael, what has Advocates in Action helped you learn or practice?
Well, my staff that I know of discovered Advocates in Action, and when it was my first time, I didn't know anybody, but I've grown attached to them, and now I've learned everything there is, including how to mute and unmute, and putting the chat by typing it in, and everything.
You learned all your good skills for the using like presentations and being online? Is that
Oh
what you're
yeah,
saying?
oh yeah, I've learned a lot about that.
Nice, and you met a lot of people that you wouldn't have met otherwise, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Kathy, what about you? What has Advocates in Action done for you?
How to speak up more. Other stuff, but I can't think of it right now.
That's
But,
okay, that's
yeah.
a really good reason. There's always room to practice and grow on that. No one starts out perfect, so, um, or knows everything, even though
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
might think. Anyways, there's always room to grow and learn more, you know, it's good, yeah. Um, let's see, the last question is, what advice do you have for your peers who might be thinking about starting self-direction for their services? Andrew?
My advice for my peers who are thinking about starting self-direction would be to have a great deal of patience, especially when it comes to hiring staff, because that can take a while. I'm in the market for a new DSP right now, And I can tell you that right now we're going through lists of candidates, and we have had absolutely no luck as of the present time. So I would recommend patience. It can take time to find exactly the right person.
Yeah, finding a good person is
Yeah.
very important. You don't want to settle either.
And I would add that sometimes when you think you found the right person, they turn out not to be. I've had that experience. So
Yep.
again, I would recommend a lot of patience
Mhm.
process.
Is there anything more you might want to say about that? About something you do to help you find staff? Like, how do you search for your staff?
Well, you can do, well, my sisters use things like Facebook. They also, right now, we're using something called care.com, and that hasn't exactly been,
Mm,
shall we say, the absolute best tool that we could have used.
okay.
But I wouldn't say that it has been absolutely the worst either.
Mhm.
But I think there's room for improvement in absolutely everything in life.
Yes, definitely. What about you, Keith? What's your piece of advice?
And to make sure you do your homework for sure and have all your ducks in a row
What does
before
that
you
mean to you, though?
before you decide, because it is crazy
So
sometimes.
you're saying, like, make sure you know what you're getting into and really
Yeah, make
research
sure
what it's like?
everything lines up.
Yeah, because it's
When
hard
you
work
go
for you.
through who this, who that, everything.
Mhm. That's good advice for sure, knowing what to expect. Kelly, what's your piece of advice?
My advice is to make sure that in the hiring process, hire a good variety of employees. So then that way, if one gets sick, you can have one that's good for backup, and that you don't end up like being without a worker. And make sure even that there are a variety of different people that you can do different things with, and to make that, so then that way it like helps you to branch out a bit.
That
and
sounds like really good, yeah.
and also that to make sure that they are respectful, kind, and that they understand you, and to if they present any red flags, make sure you know what those red flags are, and if they have too many of them, just fire them.
Well, it's always good that everyone should have their staff respect them, right? Like, that's definitely a big red flag, as you said, if they don't. Michael, what about you? What's your advice to people that might be doing things like you are?
Well, if new advocates and actors members come up, I want them to speak for themselves, and I gotta learn how to mute and unmute when someone's talking or not, and they have to get used to the Zoom meetings, prob-
Mhm.
probably like days, weeks, maybe even months. Who knows?
So you're saying maybe like it's okay to be patient and learn new things. It might take a while,
Yeah.
just like how you learned.
Oh yes.
That's good advice.
Thank you.
So Kathy, do you want to add anything or are you good?
Make sure you find the right person, like everybody else said, basically. And they need to be reliable.
Mhm. Yeah, what does reliable mean for you? Or what's an example where someone's not reliable?
Like not responding. I mean, sometimes it takes a while, but sometimes you know.
Basically, no, like you kind of have just a feeling that you know that something's not right, is that what you're saying?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. Alright, we've answered all the questions for now,
We actually have a question in the chat, Laura, and it
oh,
says, can we ask for an example of staff who they have good interactions with or good signs? So without using your DSP's name or your staff's name, give us an example of what a good interaction with you is like. Anybody want to take that question? Keith? Andrew? Go ahead.
I would say that one person I had who I think was particularly good was usually good enough to be there on our scheduled days, and when she couldn't, she usually got in touch with me to let me know why. And they were usually always good reasons, or almost always. Maybe there were times I had to wheedle just a little bit, but not often.
Okay. Keith, do you have anything to add? What's a good interaction for you
Oh,
with
that
staff?
is so true what Andrew said. And then just respect them and they'll respect you. That
Yep. Excellent. Kelly, Kathy, do you guys have anything to add?
Nope. Like the staff I already have.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. Funny.
The funny, yep. Make you laugh. It's good to laugh with friends, right? And staff.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Kelly, do you have anything to add before we move on to the next question? Or Michael?
A good staff respects your boundaries and understands and validates your feelings and isn't dismissive. A good staff gets to know your family and you, your staff, and your parents are all on the good same page. And makes and highlights your strengths on the days when you don't feel like you're good enough. And is just there for you, you know?
Yes, excellent.
I couldn't think
Michael?
of any specific examples. I had too many
Too many.
to narrow down.
That's okay. Michael, do you have anything to add before we move on?
Well, staffs need to be early or on time in order to participate.
There you go. I think that's a great, right?
Uh,
Right? They're showing up for work, right? Your boss expects you to be at work on time.
That's right.
Exactly. All right. Next question in the chat is, what type of supports do your DSPs provide? And remember, DSP is direct service professional or staff. Kelly, you want to take this one first?
Okay, and Andrew can go after me. So the supports that my workers she provided were transportation, helping with doing life skills around the house, helping with cooking, bringing me to work, and job coaching, and at times emotional support. And I miss her dearly.
Yes. Excellent answer, Kelly. Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Well, the supports my DSPs have most often provided me in the past is transportation. That is getting me to where I need to go, be it going to the grocery store for weekly shopping or getting me to a doctor's appointment or maybe getting me to a train station, bus station, wherever it is I need to get to another place.
Okay. Anybody else want to add before we move on? There's another question.
I
Yeah.
take transportation as well,
Yes. Okay,
but in order to do that, I must have a pass. It's a
your bus
one-way pass.
pass?
Oh,
Ah.
yes.
Yes. Very important. Does their staff ride the bus with you, Michael, or do you do that independent?
I do that independently.
Excellent.
I'm used to that now.
Great. All right. Anybody
Um,
else?
Yeah.
Kathy? Yeah, go ahead.
Like what do they help me with?
Mm-hmm. What type of supports does your staff provide?
Bringing me places,
Okay.
hanging out with me. Sometimes 2 appointments.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Keith?
Well, they would go to movies with you. Just go where you want to go.
Right. Who gets to decide where you go? The staff or you?
You.
You. That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Our next question is, could the panelists give some examples of how you find staff? Who wants to take that one first? Andrew? Thanks.
Well, in my case, it's mostly online, either through Facebook, care.com, or what have you. Whatever other means my sisters have to advertise, I don't have as much as access to as much as they do.
Okay.
I think the one caveat with them is that neither of them, I should say, live in Rhode Island, so that changes the map a little bit, especially for sites that tend to geolocate you when you advertise or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Michael,
went-
how about you?
Sorry.
How did you find staff?
Well, I first find the staff at some adult day program before they shut down. And when they shut down, I stick to my family support staff until all of a sudden well, there's not much staff left, so I have to take the bus to get me where I need to go. And well, sometimes I have a staff on Tuesday, especially on Friday.
So you found your staff when the agency closed because of COVID? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I really miss that place a lot.
Ah,
It brings me fond memories.
us. All right, Kathy, go ahead.
I went through Lasso.
Okay. And Lazo is a support broker?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did they help you find your staff? What kinds of things did they do with you to find staff?
Um,
Did they help you put an ad in the paper or online? Did they help you interview? How did they help you?
um, it was a while ago. I think asked me what I liked to do.
Okay. So you put your interests out there and then they tried to help you find people that had the same interests or similar interests?
Yeah.
Great. I know I like hanging out with friends that like to bowl. I think like Keith said, he's been on a bowling league. Or when Michael goes to the library to do puzzles, I think that that's, a good opportunity to find staff.
If it, I found my staff not only through Facebook and social media, but through friends who have also had staff before.
Oh, so Kelly, you met staff by hanging out with friends?
Yes, or through recommendations, or through family friends or people who we knew through our church.
Oh. Okay. Great. These are great ideas, guys. Does anybody have any other questions for our panelists before we close up our webinar for the evening? No? Well, I will tell you guys, oh, yes? Is there a question?
Yes, I have a question. My
Oh,
question
yes.
is, if they have any social club for people like them. I'm just asking because my son has autism and he has 22 years old, and
Mhm.
I'm new on this topic, and I try to help him with that subject.
So you're asking what kinds of social groups or social activities do our panelists engage in? Is that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anybody want to take that question for social? Yes, Andrew, go ahead.
Well, I'm not engaging in any of those groups, any social groups right now, but in the recent past, I did engage with one through the Asperger's and Autism Network of New England, through this woman, Toby Leibowitz, who was actually my mother's partner in running the Rhode Island chapter until my mother passed away. And I think I would tend to support group that she would share for a little while. But the information regarding that group has not been coming to me very reliably, if at all. So I haven't had the opportunity to engage in it recently. I'm
Gotcha.
thinking, while we've been talking, of sending an email to Miss Leibowitz asking why I haven't been receiving the reminders lately.
Wow. Yep. Sounds
Thank
like
you.
your communication skills are coming into play. Where do you like to do for fun, Andrew? Where do you go out with your friends?
Well, that's the thing. I don't have very many friends that aren't part of Advocates in Action, but when I do go out for fun, I like to do stuff like I said, like mini golf, walking around. I think
Right.
I will sometimes also go to Planet Fitness, walk on the treadmill for about a half hour.
Got it.
Trying to think what else. When I get out in the community, I will also do stuff like in the past I've gone to the Paw Sox when they were still here in Rhode Island,
Right.
and I think I've also gone on a couple of occasions up to Fenway Park for the Boston Red Sox, which were good.
Nice.
I think.
Do you drive by yourself?
I do not. I
Uh,
learned I have a license, but it's been determined by consensus of myself and my sister and the two driving instructors that I've had, and I'm just too distracted on the road. And that's one of the things my DSPs help with by giving me rides to and from different places. So
okay, thank you.
Anybody else want to give Amira some examples of fun social things to do? Yes, Michael, go ahead. Michael, then Kelly.
All right. Well, I used to be in the social group somewhere where I was with my buddy that I know of a lot. We used to chat, but unfortunately the funding was cut, and I guess the staffs didn't cut it. So yeah, it's a shame it went out of business, but at least I know my old buddy now.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Michael. How about you, Kelly?
You're welcome.
Thank you,
So,
Michael.
I think I recommend the Groden Center, their social groups, the Autism Project, their social groups for those if you want to meet people who are also on the spectrum. This is
Mhm.
more of a exclusive to East Providence thing, but I just joined this thing with the senior center the recreational center, and you go on a bus and they take you to the senior center or out into the community to do some sort of activity. And
Yep.
tomorrow night we're doing a board game night. So woohoo!
So maybe people can check out where they live, their city and town websites, and see if there's any recreation programs in where they live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're very welcome. Thanks for the question. Anybody else before we close up for the day? All right. Well, thank you. This has been a wonderful, wonderful webinar. I loved hearing about all of the different reasons why these young adults chose self-direction. And we hope that you join us for our next webinar next month, which will be on April 30th. I believe that Jane just dropped it in the chat. It's employment success stories. So people that are self-directing and are having some employment success. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are about our panel today. So if you could please check out the survey. Jane just dropped that in the chat for everybody. And if you've missed anything and you want to go back and see any of our previous recordings, you can do so at our RIPIN page. And you can always contact us at RIPIN through our number or through our email at selfdirectedsupport@ripin.org. Thank you again to our panelists, and thank you all for families and professionals that have joined us this evening. We hope that you've really enjoyed our panel tonight. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
So long.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.